Heian Godan. So starting out in the kata, we have the first 7 moves. So we start from here, we do our outer forearm strike, reverse punch, and then our slow half punch, outer forearm strike, reverse punch, slow half punch, and then we go into our reinforced strike. So number 1 is going to cover one side of the left and right. We're actually going to cover the very first side of the 3 moves. We aren't going to repeat it. And then we're going to cover the last move in that sequence. So Mr. Johnson's going to grab with a left lapel grab. He's getting ready to hit. Now, first thing I always do is I seize the wrist. So we want to use C-grip and just clamp it down. If he throws a punch, I'm going to just do my flinch response palm strike. And then I'm going to go on to what the Oyo is. If he doesn't punch, that's fine. Okay? But if he does, just add that in. As soon as I would strike, or as soon as I seize the wrist, I'm going to step my right foot to the side. I'm going to slide my left foot back a little bit, so I'm in a back stance. At the same time, we're going to take my left hand. I'm going to hit down on his forearm, and I want to use the bone to hit down. I want to hit against muscle if possible. From there, I'm going to just slide up his arm and strike with the outer part of my forearm. So what's nice about this is you shouldn't even have to see. Don't close your eyes up when you're doing this, okay? So right after you strike with the outer forearm, the next movement in the kata is we chamber for our hikite and we reverse punch. So we're going to stay in our back stance. We're going to hook the crux of the elbow and pull back with the left, and we're going to reverse punch with the right. Notice what happens. I use my 2 knuckles and I actually push against his jawline. From there, it turns his head, which means the crown is available. So if there's hair to grab, grab hair. If not, just grab with your hand. Take the other hand, put it on his chin, and we gotta bring this in close to us. Slide our right foot in toward our left and twist the head for a neck crank. Now, if he falls, great, but if he doesn't, there's application for that. From here, I'll just step forward my right foot in the back stance and elbow down. Now, this could also be useful if he removes this hand, because that's a way to kill this technique. So if he removes the hand, I still step and elbow down. Then he would fall down, I'd back away, I'd say back off, don't hurt me, check my area for enemies and other dangers. If it's clear, I'd sprint toward the nearest exit and escape. For number 2, we're going to cover the next sequence in the kata. So the first sequence ended here. The second sequence, we're going to go into our low X block, high X block. We're going to switch our hands, bring it to our side, do our hammer fist, and then into our front punch. So this is going to work from a clinch. We're going to do it so we're staying true to the kata. We're going to start with our left hand on each other's neck, and then right hand on each other's forearms, and left ear towards our partner's left shoulder. Notice our left foot is forward for both of us. From here, Mr. Johnson is going to bring his arm through to strip my arm away. Then another thing that can happen in grappling is he wants control of my wrist. So he's going to slide it down and he's going to push down. Notice how he uses his weight for that. So what I'm going to do is, since he's pushing down, he won't have a lot of control side to side. His strength will be down. So I'm going to bring my arm toward me, and I'm going to bring my other hand underneath his wrist. So I have my forearm underneath the wrist, and from here I'm going to bring in this right arm in toward me. I'm going to twist it up a little bit while I twist the other one away. And you notice it brings him up toward his toes because I'm applying a finger lock there. I don't want to hold this for a long time because it can slip. So as soon as I get that finger lock and where he's up, I'm then going to go up to that X block position here. I don't want to stay here. I want to hook with my right hand over his forearm. I want to pull that back for a hikite. I want to bring my left hand over the top and bring my palm just above his elbow. I'm going to pull with the hikite with my right. I'm going to push down with the left. Now I also want to stay away from his left hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot on the ball of my left foot as I take a step back toward my backside with my right foot and press. If he falls, great. Kick, back away, do what you need to do. But if he doesn't, there's an answer for that in kata, which is just slide down his arm and find his head. Now, if his head's far away, I'll do a punch. If he's closer in, I'll hammer fist, just like the kata calls for. Now, If for some reason that first hit doesn't work very well and he still is close, I'll reverse punch from here because he's in close, even though the kata says front punch. But if he's farther away, maybe I got a good hit in, I'll grab his sleeve and I'll front punch through. Then I'll push him away, say back off, don't hurt me, check my area. If it's clear, sprint toward the nearest exit. The next one is a cross buttocks throw, and it's covering the next segment in the kata. So we ended with doing the hammer fist front punch. Next what comes is we turn, we fold, we bring our knee up, and we come down with our low forearm strike. So that's really a cross buttocks throw, because if you notice from here, my feet are kind of close together as I bring my knee up. I step through, turning my body, and that would be hooking, bringing them over, and throwing over and down. So we're going to do this against a haymaker. So he goes to do the haymaker, I'm going to flinch response. I'm going to step in, pull his right arm down with my left hand, so I'm grabbing all the way around. And I want to take my right arm, I want to think about punching up toward the ceiling, so I get a good grip there and making it tight. From here, I'm going to step back with my left foot. Notice how there's space between us. I'm going to pull, and as soon as I start pulling him forward where he gets close to me, I'm going to step with my left foot and throw him across, basically across my belt. From there, I can hammer fist, I can palm strike, I can drop some knees, I can kick, whatever's comfortable for you, and then do what you need to do. Now, when I threw, you might have noticed that when I came through, I bent my knees and then popped up as I turned to throw him. So you want to use your legs, don't lift with your arms. So starting from the low forearm strike in the kata, we then go to our backhand, our crescent kick, our elbow smash, landing in the horse stance. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this against a haymaker. He throws a haymaker, I do my flinch response, my left. From there, I'm going to pass the arm, just like we practice in class. So I'm going to bring my right hand underneath to the triceps, left hand on top of the forearm, swing it through, and I'm going to slide my right hand down to grab the inside of his wrist or forearm. From there, I'm going to backhand. Now I have a few different places I can backhand. I can backhand to the neck area, I can backhand to the face. I can do it with my forearm instead of my hand, which actually will be better for my hand. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the back of the head. Now I can grab the hair if I want, or I can just grab the head. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to kick through. So I want to kick that leg back. Now there's a few places you can kick. I can either kick a little lower to try to kick his leg out, or I can kick a little higher. It depends your positioning and where you feel comfortable with. So I prefer to actually kick about midway when I kick, and then from there, that opens him up, so I have my hand here, and I just elbow smash. I can do a couple of those. Now, if you want, you can also add where, if you feel like he's going to come forward and elbow down, which would be, from there, the next move in the kata. So there's no problem with adding that if they tend to come forward instead of go back from your technique. Starting from the elbow smash in the kata, then comes a back fist, almost like a reinforced back fist strike. And then you have like this uppercut where you look away. This is not an uppercut strike, and I'll show you in a moment. From there, we have our jump. And again, there's a jump, but there's not a jump in the actual oil, okay, or application. So we're going to start this one with our right foot forward, right hand on the back of the neck, left hand on the forearm. Of course, we can do both sides. We're just doing this because it lines up with the kata. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to add in my dirt. So I might add in some knees, a kick, a shoulder hit, use my head to pry away so I have an opening to insert my arm through, then grab his triceps, and then from there add in some more dirt until I can grab his wrist and use my body weight to bring it down. From there, I'm just going to pull my arm down really quick and then uppercut. So just a quick shot. I'm going to bring my right arm underneath his right armpit, and I'm going to pull down with my left hand. From here, I'm going to bring my left foot back so my feet are closer together, not all the way together though. And I'm going to pull him. As I pull him, I got to bend my knees. And I get him up on my hips. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten out. I'm going to turn. Next part. I'm going to go ahead and put my left arm through here. So from here, I just slide down. Left arm goes through, and his arm bends this way. I put my left leg down, and from here, I'm going to take my right leg, and I'm going to bring it over the top. If you can't bring it over the top, there is an alternative I'll show you in a moment. My left hand is going to be on his triceps. I take my right hand is going to be on his triceps. My left hand is going to actually hook my right forearm. I'm going to lift him up from here so he's totally sideways. I'm going to make sure I move my left leg up toward his back to keep him upright. And from here, I'm just going to straighten up, and I'm going to turn to the left. And notice that Mr. Johnson taps my leg. He doesn't tap the mat because I feel that. From there, I can strike. I let go and push down. I go to stand up. I can add another strike in there. Step back, hit, and back away. Now, the alternative, if I can't go down to my knees from here, after I throw them, I'll just drop some knees, some strikes, kick, and back away. If I can drop to my knee, if I can't get my leg over, I'll just push him this way. I might not have the twist, I'll see. He can't hit me though, that's a problem, so I have to be careful. And I'll just strike from here, so if he can't get this. Because one of the problems is too, is he can use his legs to walk out of this, so if he walks his legs this way, he's out. So I'm just gonna hit. If I can't get my leg over, always push the arm down, kick, and then back away. So it's very important you get him sideways and that leg over if you're gonna do the full joint lock. But remember that joint lock is more for martial arts, more for fun. It's not something I recommend doing in real self-protection because it puts you on the ground with the enemy. And the problem with that is, if it's a multiple enemy situation, you just put yourself at extreme risk because you're on the ground now, and all of your tools are wrapped up on one person. So again, the ending is more for martial arts fun and kind of just to understand, how we can apply that jumping move in there. So from the jumping low X strike, the next move in the kata goes to a reinforced strike. So the way we're going to cover this is he's going to have his left leg forward. He's going to do a left number 3 front kick where he's stepping toward me to kick through. When he goes to do that, I'm going to move to the right. I'm going to hook his leg. I don't want to hook up here under his knee because from here he can't step down. Go ahead and step down. His leg's going to be strong on my arm every time. So I want to hook where I'm below his knee. I'm going to grab his lapel. You could also grab his hair. You could also take a thumb, grab it here, whatever you want. I'm just going to grab his lapel, or his collar here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing that the reinforced strike does, the same exact movement to take him down. From here, you can hit, you can stomp, which is my favorite, push the leg down, then back away to a safe distance and do what you need to do. Next, what we're going to do is cover basically how to do the palm strike and inverted palm strike into this move where you're supposedly blocking against an attacker behind you in front of you, which isn't true, and then sliding up. So he's going to do a haymaker. I'm going to go ahead and do my flinch response. I'm going to grab underneath, pass it through, grab the wrist. From here, I'm going to hit behind. I'm going to get my hand underneath his chin and twist and pull my weight back. So you notice I'm in a back stance now. I also have a nice arm bar with this right hand. So I have a neck crank and arm bar going on. So I'm going to see if he'll tap, just to make sure I have that. And then from here, I'm going to grab the back of my head with my hand, and I'm just going to slide my right foot in, and I'm going to pull and squeeze. And he taps again, and I take him down, kick, and back away. So in essence, what you're doing is you're doing a forearm smash using your body weight to bend him. You're then getting your hand underneath, do that neck crank, pulling against his other arm, so you get an arm bar, and moving your weight backward. Sometimes that's hard to hold. So from there, if you can, grab your own head and slide up just like that. And what happens by you sliding up, it tightens that neck crank and makes it more of a strangle. And then just take him down, kick, do what you need to do. We're going to cover application for the double, what's known as a double block a lot of times, or we call it a double strike, where it's like a low forearm strike and an outer forearm strike behind you. The problem is you can't see behind you during your next move. In the kata, you're just looking forward. So we have to see how can we use both arms in conjunction with each other. So Mr. Johnson going to have his right foot back, and he's going to do a number 2 front kick. I'm going to move off to the side, I'm going to hook it. Notice I'm not hooking by the knee because if we will step through and down and break my hold. I'm hooking higher. Then from here I step behind him with my left. And I'm in my back stance because I want my weight back so I can defend easier and also so he can't knock me off balance. I'm going to take my left arm, I'm going to bring it across his belly button basically. I want to raise this up, press this down, and I twist to my left. From there, I can just push down, stomp, and then back away. Always get the leg out of the way so he can't use it against you. Then say what you need to say, check your area, if it's safe, sprint to the nearest exit.